Good morning, YouTube. Fat Cat Collections back at you with another fragrance review. And today I'm going to be talking about one by the house of Calvin Klein, and this is called Reveal. Okay, this was released in 2014 or 2015. I'm not really sure which year. I found two different release dates online. Base Notes, I believe, says 2014, and I believe Fragrantica said 2015. Nonetheless, it's a new fragrance, again, by the house of Calvin Klein. This fragrance, when I first stumbled upon it, it was actually at Ross, and it was an open box version. It probably came with the cream or the lotion or whatever, and it was kind of all taped up, and they wanted $35 for it, and I was able to at least smell it. And I didn't buy it then because I just couldn't rationalize $35. I didn't really love it, but it reminded me of something very, very similar to what I have, and that was, well, I'll show you, Shades Wood by Armaf. Now, when I went back later on and smelled it again, these two smell nothing alike. And if you've seen my other video on Shades Wood, you know that that is one of my favorite colognes in my collection. Definitely one I will continue to replace once I'm done with it. It's such a unique juice. But there was a similarity when I first smelled this one. And I think what it was because I was smelling a lot of other colognes and my nose wasn't really clear. And I think I was smelling the sweetness to it. And that's why I think I associated that with Shade Woods. They smell nothing alike. But what I did was I went back at a later date and I went to TJ Maxx. And I found this for $14.99 for 100 mils. So for that price, I just had to get it because it is a brand new fragrance, and in the stores, it's close to $70 if you go into like a Macy's. So I figured for that price, it's worth getting a blind, I mean, it wasn't really a blind buy, I guess, because I had smelled it before, but I knew I was intrigued by it. When I did get it home, I have to say, I almost returned it, but for the price, I decided to keep it, and I'm glad I did. This is a very unique smelling fragrance. I haven't really smelled anything that smells like it. And this was a collaboration by 4 perfumers. I'm just going to read you their names. This was a collaboration from Anne Gottlieb, Olivia Gautin, I'm screwing up these names, but just bear with me, Rodrigo Floraruz, and May Pierre Julien. If I'm saying that correctly, great. If I'm not, I apologize. But they're 4 very well-known perfumers, and they collaborated on this one for Calvin Klein. What I'm going to do is just tell you what's in it, and I'm going to tell you what I smell and what I get from it, and do I think you might like it or whether it's worth it. And that's the best we can do from any kind of fragrance review on YouTube where you really can't smell the stuff. So here we go. So here are the notes that are in this particular fragrance. In the top notes you have ginger, mastic, pear brandy, and Kawano, if I'm saying that right. In the middle notes you have suede, agave nectar, and sage. And then in the bottom notes you have tonka bean, vetiver, and amber. Folks, to me, this is a very, very polarizing scent. And what I mean by that is that people are either going to like this or really, really hate it. It's definitely not going to be one that's going to be, I guess, appealing to all. It's very, very sweet on the opening. And let me just take a little whiff here and I'll tell you what I smell. This is a very, very sweet fragrance. I have to say this is probably the sweetest fragrance in the opening that I have in my collection. And I will say that the sweetness does kind of dry down a little bit, but the sweetness is going to remain throughout the life of the fragrance. So if you don't like that opening of a really sweet scent, you're probably not going to like this fragrance. It's not one of my favorites, but I'm glad I got it for the price because it is really, really different, and I have gotten compliments wearing this. And I think with the sweetness that you're smelling, that I'm smelling the top note, is, I believe, the agave, and of course the pear brandy. And this is definitely has a boozy note to it. Now, I don't really know, much about liqueurs and all that stuff, but I have smelled brandy, I have tasted brandy, and it is rather sweet. And I think that's what you're getting here. You're getting a boozy sweetness that will remain throughout the entire life of the fragrance. So if you smell this and you don't like it, it's not going to dry down, folks. Now, this is one I definitely would not blind buy. I would definitely try to get your hands on and smell it if you're interested in it, because you may not like that sweetness. And I know for me, like I said, I almost returned it a few times because it was so overwhelming. So this is not one you want to go heavy on the trigger with, if you know what I mean. But it is a very, very unique scent. I don't really get a lot of suede out of it, but I do get the amber, I do get the tonka bean, and I do get that agave, and I think that's where the sweetness is probably coming from, the brandy and the agave, because those are both sweet notes. I mean, agave is used as, naturally as, it's like it's a very syrupy, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, the best way to describe this cologne is a very, very sweet, syrupy scent that's going to smell very similar to what brandy would smell like. So that's but the best way I can describe this. If you're not into sweet fragrances, you will not like this one. This is definitely one. I'm glad that I have in my collection, but I would not pay no $70 for it by any means. It's definitely, I think, something that women will like because it is so sweet. But then again, I haven't really put it to the test. If you read the notes and you like leather and suede, don't expect to get this and really smell that suede. I really don't get any leather out of this at all. But like I said, I definitely get a lot of that sweetness. And that, like I said before 3 times already, that is going to stay throughout the entire life of the fragrance on your skin or on your clothes. It is a very strong scent. And I think this one is definitely one you should definitely sample before going ahead and purchasing it. You can find it pretty cheap online. Go ahead and check the description of this video, and you can see the link I put in there that'll take you right to where you can pick this up. I definitely think it's one for the collection because it is so unique. I've never really smelled anything quite like it. And you know, some of the ones like I've reviewed before with the fruity ones or like, for instance, just to throw it out there, the Versace Pour Homme and Gucci Guilty, I think they're very, very generic. Nobody's going to smell those and really say, oh, you're wearing Versace. I just don't think they're really anything to write home about. This is very, very unique. If somebody has smelled this before, they will know you're wearing Calvin Klein Reveal. So, folks, that's my 2 cents on Calvin Klein Reveal. I think it's a really, really nice fragrance for when you want something very unique and very, very sweet. And like I said, it does have that boozy quality to it as well. If you like colognes that are like that, you will absolutely love this one. Although I'm not a huge fan of overwhelmingly sweet colognes. That's why this one is not within my, my top. I don't reach for this one all the time. It's not one of my top perfumes. But for the price of $14, I'm glad I got it. If I would have paid $20, I probably would have ended up returning it. Even though it's only $5, I don't like it enough that I would warrant paying over $20 for it. However, that's just my personal opinion because I like the tobacco, the woodsy ones. This is definitely a scent that's more, I would say, youthful. I don't think this is like a boozy cologne that you would find in an older man, although an older man can wear it, but there is a youth quality to this as well, probably just because it is so sweet. So that's my 2 cents again on Calvin Klein Reveal. I do like the juice, but it's one that I don't reach for very often just because you have to be in the mood to wear something like this, and I'm not always in the mood to wear something super sweet. So thank you so much for watching, folks. If you have experience with this cologne, go ahead and drop a comment. If you like this, the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to get the cologne, click the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.